that where the shooter is right now. I do know that the sheriffs have assured us that the scene is secure.
And then the people that are the engines that are waiting here, they are just waiting for additional or it's time for
Sorry, everybody. I'm recording
They're
on
here
one
for
of
support for
my screens
where we
here.
need them to go. So some are
Phone is
coming
broke.
back from
The
being over
screen is
there and
cracked,
working.
whatever.
Some are getting ready to head back to the stations to cover areas. We're also setting up critical incident stress management for the personnel that were on scene that witnessed it.
And if you can say and spell your first and last name, please.
Brian McGrath, BRIAN, MCGRATH, Captain, Ventura County Fire.
We are all Cal State Channel Island students.
Was one of your classmates or friends the young lady I overheard a moment ago?
To hear stories like this, first please help out and donate to Brutally Honest TV Channel 7
I mean, I know people
on
saw, two of my
Patreon.
friends saw him, but I don't know if they didn't review that place or anything.
Did they tell you anything about this fellow? I know it's crazy tonight.
Help support the channel,
Not
people.
really. I mean, I've gotten updates from my parents, but you know, we're not trying to speculate. We just want to get all the information accurate, correct, and you know, get through this.
You've come to Borderline many times, I think.
Yes, I love this place. It's a very, it's our usual hangout. Like my parents trust me going here that, you know, nothing like this would happen. And, you know, not to say that, you know, things like that can't, but in this community, it's very hard for me to comprehend it because I've lived here all my life, and to think that, you know, I've never experienced it. I've just never experienced it.
Do you mind taking me through where you were and how you found out about this?
So I was kind of near the door. There's some tables in Borderline, like when you first walk in. So I was near there, and I've heard. I mean, I didn't see the shooter, but I heard people say that he came through the front. But obviously, I ran out the front. So you know, I don't know how that happened. But, oh yeah, they were very, very loud gunshots. They were very clear what they were. You know, it was definitely not the music. You know, there were people in the middle dancing and just hanging out and having a good time, and you hear that and you just know something's wrong. I really can't say. You know, I don't want to put out any speculations. That's law enforcement's job.
Oh, I know, but did you hear more than 6?
I can't really say, but they're very fast, very rapid, very loud, and there were definitely a lot more than probably what a usual handgun would be.
Did you notice people said there were smoke bombs? Was there smoke in the area?
Yeah, there was some smoke. I mean, I got out of there as fast as I could, so I can't say anything as to what, you know, other people that were in there, you know, had experience with.
So as soon as you heard the gunshots, you just took off out the door?
No, we got down because I heard people screaming, everyone get down, and, you know, I've never experienced this before, so I'm going to listen to whatever they tell me to do. Very scary, but once, you know, more shots kept going and going and going, we just heard people say run, and we booked it as fast as we could.
So you were in there, you heard the gunshots, someone screamed get down, you got down, and you know about how long it felt like you were on the floor?
Not very, because there were some smoke bombs, I guess, and there was one apparently near me, and I saw that, and we were like, it's going to go off, so we better get out of here before it does.
Did you see anyone injured as you were leaving?
I did not see anyone injured when I was leaving. With the group that I was hiding out with, there were 2 with injuries, but again, we had 2 paramedics with us, thank God, that were in that group. So they were taken care of, and they did receive medical attention as far as I know.
What was your name?
Erica Sigmund.
Erica? E-R-I-C-A?
K-A.
What's your last name?
Sigmund, S-I-G-M-A-N.
You're so brave to talk to us. Thank you so much. How are you doing right now? Holding up pretty well, given what you've been through.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get through it, and I want to be here for my friends. You know, they're the ones that really kept me going through this, because there were times where I did lose it, for sure. And I mean, the group that I was hiding out with, you know, there were strangers holding my hand saying, you're going to be okay. And, you know, that's kind of what I take away from this, is that even though there's a lot of bad in this world, there's also a lot of good people there to help.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. I'm
Thank you
so
so
sorry for having gone through that. Thank you. We're going to step back here. It looks like we have a couple others. Okay. Do you mind if we talk to you as well? Were you inside? Can you tell us your name?
Taylor Whitler.
Taylor,
Where were you at the time, and what were you doing when you first heard the shot?
I was on the dance floor dancing at the time, and then all my friends were at the table right by the door. And then I heard the gunshot. I turned around and I saw him shoot a couple more times. And within a split second, everyone yelled, "Get down!" So I ran to the left of the dance floor where the back door is, and everyone pretty much dogpiled on top of each other. And then it was silent for a couple seconds, and then all of a sudden, a couple guys that were closer to the bar, they got up and started running towards the
Again,
back
I
door and said,
apologize
"Get
for
up,
the
he's
broke
coming."
screen. I just caught this
And so,
recording on my phone right now.
It was huge panic. Everyone tried getting up, and then trampled a couple
If you
times.
like,
Some
please
guy came
donate to
behind
my
me, picked me up
Patreon,
and said, "Let's go."
Brutally Honest TV Channel
And then
7.
I got a bar stool
Support the
over my head
channel.
because they were trying to break the window to get out. And we finally made it out, ran up the hill, and then once we made it up the hill, we heard the second time.
The gunfire break out a
Yeah.
second time?
Yeah. And
This young woman's hand right here, this is the mark. I assume they make that when you go in the door, right?
yeah,
And this is a very... Can you describe what happened? Did you see the shooter?
only for a split second. As soon as I looked back and saw him shoot the gun, I ran and tried to get cover.
What kind of gun did he have?
It was semi-automatic. It was a pistol. I'm not sure the type of gun it was, but it looked like a 40.
Somebody mentioned that there might have been smoke bombs thrown inside.
I heard there were smoke bombs, but by the time the smoke
Unusually
bomb
good
went off,
for a
I was
woman.
already down dogpiled on the other side, so I couldn't see it.
You wind up going out the back door or out
Yeah.
the window?
I winded up going out the back door and running up the hill that's right next to there. And then as soon as we heard the second round of gunshots again, we ducked, hid behind a couple of shrubs, and we 30 minutes went by and we didn't hear anything, and there was a bunch of cop cars there. So we ended up making our way down the side of the hill, further away from Borderline, and ended up going to one of the cop cars. There were no cops there, so we went up the street to where they had a bunch of fire trucks and stuff, and so I could see if I could find any of my friends.
Do you know about how long the gunfire went on for? I know it happened while you were inside and then again once you had left.
While I was inside, I would say it was about a good 30 seconds. He had 2 rounds that I know with him. He changed them within about 6 seconds, which was really fast. So he knew what he was doing. And he also had perfect form. When I look back, he was like spot on. And
Describe to me what it's like. I mean, you're in there having a good time dancing, and then all of a
He
sudden
was a
you're
shooter
running
for real.
it was really, really, really shocking. It kind of, with my dad being in the military for so long, he's kind of in a way prepared me, but not really ever prepared me. I never thought something like this would happen. But I kind of got my head in check really quick, and I was like, I need to get shelter. I need to make it out of here. I need to do something. I didn't really have time to think about why is this happening, like what's happening. It was just like, get out.
How good of a look did you get at the shooter? Are you able to describe the look on his face, what he looked like?
He was wearing, I got a pretty good, decent look. Looked like he was wearing almost kind of like a ski mask over his face, but only the bottom half. And then he had a black baseball cap on. He was dressed in almost all black. He was a taller white man. That's really all I can remember.
Did he look like he was after anyone in particular?
Not that I know of. It was a bunch of like random shots at people.
Was he shooting directly at people, or was he just shooting?
I think the first guy he shot was the security guard.
Can you describe the moment when the shots broke out? A lot of people talk about the panic that broke out. Was a lot of screaming, running, or everyone just stopped?
It was everyone ran and dropped. There was some screaming, but not too much. I think everyone was in so much of a shock that everyone kind of just, it was sheer panic. Everyone ran and dropped as fast as they could.
How are you doing right now?
I'm still in shock. That's definitely Yeah.
This is your dad here?
Yeah.
And so you're just hearing that your daughter was involved in all this?
No, I got a call immediately. She did what we've always trained her to do, and that's drop your cell phone, get as far away from the shooter as you can, and don't make yourself a target. And she did exactly what she was supposed to do. But someone else had their phone, and we got a call at 11:20 last night, roughly 11:20. She started out just by saying, "Dad, there's been a shooting. I'm okay.
Oh, shit, this just happened.
I'm hiding in the hills. We're up here by the cactus."
What are you feeling being able to be here and see your daughter?
Relief. It's my oldest kid. She just turned 19 pretty recently.
Oh, I didn't.
About 6 months ago. She's 19 years old, and I'm proud of her.
You kept your wits about you. How did you do that?
It was kind of, it's just something that you had to do. Like, there's no time to panic. You just have to, like, you have to have the mindset of, I need to get out of here. Like, what can I do to save my life, let alone, like, other people's? And it's just, like, one of those, you can't even think about it. It's just, get somewhere safe.
We're so glad you're okay. Thank you for speaking. If you could one more time, tell us.
Taylor Whitler,
How do you spell your last name?
Whittler, and then Taylor is Teylor.
Okay. And do you live near here? All right. So it looks like a lot of these witnesses and survivors were just released. I don't know, Brett, if we can swing around here. I'm sorry. If we can swing around here, maybe. I know it's tough. Here, switch sides.
So I never had to practice those in high school, but I know I'm scared. I'm scared, just like. I don't blame you.
All right. Let's go to Victoria now. Victoria, are you with us? You were at the scene.
Yes, I am.
What can you tell us first of all about what you saw? And you are a Cal Lutheran student. You were the event coordinator for tonight.
I'm a promoter for Borderline Bar and Grill, and
Oh,
I am
okay.
a Cal Lutheran student as well. Yes.
All right. So what did you see?
I didn't see as much as everyone else. I was on the dance floor, and I had just walked around from the front of the bar to the back corner of the dance floor when I heard the pop, 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 and I knew exactly what it was. Grew up in a military family, and after Route 91, kind of just expected at that point. And I kind of crouched down, and I just started running toward the closest door, which I knew was in the back exit. And I tripped and fell, and I kind of started to get trampled. And then one of my friends picked me up and was like shooing people out the door and got me out of there. Before I didn't even hear the second round go off. I was already out of there during the first rounds, and then ran out, and I didn't know where to go because I didn't know where the shooter was. Started running into the dark, and then
Whose dog is that?
saw someone in their truck, so I just went, and I was like, let me in. And it ended up being a friend who worked at Borderline as well. And I hopped in, and we bolted out of there, and he dropped me off at my house, and then went back to try to help more people get out of there.
Wow. So, Victoria, as the event coordinator for this event, you would have a pretty good idea of how many people were in attendance. How many people were there tonight, would you say?
So I'm not an event coordinator. I'm a promoter. So I promote the Wednesday Borderline Call of Night. Noel Frawley is probably
Again,
better
sorry about
to
that,
answer
people.
that
If you want
exact
to donate,
number.
go please donate to my
At least a
Patreon
couple
account,
hundred. I mean,
Brutally
it
Honest
was
TV,
not
Channel
as
7.
busy as most nights, but it was definitely a
Things
usual
will get
Wednesday
better.
college night. And at the time of the shooting, it was when the time that it happened was when Borderline starts picking up anyway, which means more people were starting to come in at that point anyway.
Would there have been
So it
a
was
line?
starting to get more crowded.
Would there have been a line outside? Would there have been people lined up outside the door, or was it in that busy? Or
Thank you, everybody.
Definitely a
And
possibility, yes.
please, we don't like this kind of
At that
stuff
time,
here
yeah,
in
it's
America.
definitely a possibility.
So,
I
I
can't
mean,
attest to that in that
I don't want to
moment,
hit the
but
like button
yeah,
to
it's
this.
definitely possible that there were
This is
people lined up
horrible.
outside.
So you were on the dance floor when it happened. Was there a DJ or was there a band?
DJ, my
Usually
friend
I would
was
say,
the
hey, go
DJ.
hit the like
She
button.
was there as
I
a
wouldn't
DJ
hit the like
booth,
button
so
for
she was
this.
up in the
I don't
booth.
like this.
And the dance floor was pretty dark. And my first reaction was to get out of there, but I didn't look behind me, and that was kind of the scariest thing, was not knowing where the shooter was. If I was running to the shooter, I didn't know where I was going, but my first instinct was to just to drop and get out of there as fast as I could.
Did you see the shooter?
I did not see the shooter. As soon as I heard the shots went off, like I said, I just tried to get out of there.
What it sounds like is there were 2 rounds of gunfire, like you might have brought 2 clips. Is that kind of what your recollection is, that there was a bunch of gunfire, then a pause, and then a bunch more gunfire? Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what I've been hearing from my friends, but from what I remember, I was so focused on getting out, I just heard the pop, 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 and I did hear a slight pause, but I think I was already out by the time the second rounds were going off.
Did you have friends that are still inside? Is everybody that you know accounted for?
Everybody but my brother and one of my other friends, but I'm there every week, so borderline's a family. Everyone knows everyone, and from the friends that I could recall that were there, all got out. The only person that we're all kind of waiting to hear on is my brother, and he also works at Borderline.
He's an employee. What does your brother do for Borderline?
He is a promoter, and he is also a security guard on Thursdays and Saturdays. So he wasn't working security
You
tonight.
saw
He was
this
just working as a
horrible
promoter.
tragedy here
But
first,
he also runs
even
the beer
though I'm
pong
bringing
bar.
you a bad screen.
Wow. So
Remember, this is where you saw it first.
We think
Brutally
about
Honest TV,
securing
Channel 7,
nightclubs, right?
with
In the
your
wake of like
host,
what happened at the
JT
Pulse
Banks.
Club in
This
Orlando, and how to make
is a
places
tragic
safer for young
event.
people. And here's a case where, action was taken. You had a security guard, and yet it's just, if someone comes in and they want to do serious harm, there's really not much that can be done, it appears.
Yeah, the reality is,
Here we go.
it's unfortunate. There's evil people in the world that do stuff like this, and that's the crazy thing too. Is I bet I can guarantee you half the people that were there tonight were also at Route 91. And so this is round 2 for a lot of people.
Right. I think
That
if
is
we pay close
pretty telling
attention,
commentary on the way things
I
are
think we had
lately in this
a
country.
lady say
These mass
earlier
shootings
there
are so
was
frequent
more
and
than
so
one
common that you could
gunman,
actually
but
experience
I
more than
wanted
one
to
of them in your
record this
lifetime.
and bring this to everybody because we know
We
that
send our
these
best hopes and
stories tend
thoughts
to
in your direction
change
for your brother. We hope
from
you
the
find him,
eyewitnesses'
and we hope that
accounts
everything is okay
live on the
with
scene.
you and your
After
family and your
they've
friends.
given
Victoria
live
Rose Meek,
interviews, the story still
who
changes. So
was there
we'll see.
and looking for a family
That's why
member.
when I
If
seen
somebody
this, I
out
jumped
there
up on it.
watching or
There's
listening right
other
now who happens to know
famous
where her brother
YouTubers who are
please,
not
get in touch.
on point right now. Trust me, they're doing other things. I was watching them.
Let's check in now with Eyewitness News reporter Eileen Frere, who's on the scene. Eileen, what can you tell us?
What's up with this dog, man?
Well, Mark and Michelle, we're in kind of a staging area where a lot of the fire engines and ambulances are on standby, being called out as needed. Originally, when the
And
shooting
again,
first
apologies
happened,
for the screen,
first
you
fire
guys.
engines, the first
Things will get better.
responders who arrived at the bar were already hearing gunshot. The responding engines, many of them were told to return to this lot for safety while they got the scene secured. They are here just waiting for orders, as this is still a situation that's early in the investigation. We were hearing that from the Ventura County Sheriff's PIO, telling us that there were, at this point, 11 victims. Among those victims, there are fatalities. They can't give us those numbers just yet on how many are among the dead. However, the PIO did say that one of those people they believe is the shooter who is still inside the bar. We have some sound and play for you from the PIO with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department as he describes what happened.
Life snuffed out, having a good time at a bar. That shit is horrible.
Among the injured in this incident was one of our sheriff's deputies. I also know that I just got briefed by our EMS coordinator. There have been
people showing up at some of the local hospitals with injuries related to this incident. So
I
there's
hope
people
that deputy
been
make
left
it
on their
and
own
just be just
and
fine. That just don't make no
walked into
sense.
ERs locally with a
What is
variety
the
of injuries. So
motivation behind these
that
people
number
who
is going
do
to go
these
up from
things, or
11.
if it's something else? Because we
I
really
don't have
don't
an exact
know.
total. We're still in the early stages of this.
And not all
And
of
what
them
I
were
mean by
shot either.
something else is it's orchestrated by
That I don't know.
Your sheriff's deputy, what can you tell me? How many
organized
years?
group. I'll just put
You
it
know,
like that. I
I
don't want
don't
to
have
say
those
anything that
details
might get me
at this
demonetized.
point, and you know, we're still connecting with his family, and we'll have more on that later.
How is
So, I don't have specifics on his condition at this point.
I take it that he was probably one of the first in.
Yes.
And when you arrived, how many deputies went in? And
I don't have a breakdown on exactly how that
This is
went. I
Southern
just know that
California. One of my
deputies
previous videos, I
responded to the
just did
initial call of shots
2 other
fired.
lives on
They
this.
arrived on scene.
I
They heard
mistakenly
shots.
said
They
Las
entered the
Vegas
building
because they
trying to
said Las
suspect.
Vegas. I was like, whoa, Las
suspect
Vegas
is one of
again?
the people
Jesus.
inside the bar still?
That's my understanding. Yes.
Is he deceased?
I
But this
believe
is
so.
Southern California.
And do we know where in the bar he is? Or how far he got in?
That I don't know. My understanding is several hundred people there at the time of the shooting inside the bar.
Several hundred.
Yeah. The estimate that I was given was at least 200.
And this was a college night every Wednesday night. Are a lot of the victims young people in their 20s or?
I believe so, but I don't have a breakdown yet on that.
And at this point, you
Please
were saying
subscribe,
that,
hit the notification
this
button.
number could go higher.
Yeah, I mean, just with that
Please
information
donate to
that
my
people are
Patreon
showing
account,
up at local
Brutally
emergency
Honest
rooms
TV
with
Channel 7.
various injuries related to this, that the number keeps changing. So
We are trying to
that all
bring the truth to the
stabilizes,
world.
it's going to be hard to provide an exact number of the number of injured and the number killed. So we'll have details on that later on as the investigation goes.
And what can you tell me about the shooter?
I have no information on the shooter at this point.
Some people were saying, some witnesses were saying that he came in, first shot the bouncer at the front, the security guard, and then threw smoke bombs. Was there any indication of that?
I haven't heard that, but again, there'll be a lot more details coming out as we further the investigation.
And what is happening right now?
Right now, our homicide investigators are at the scene. You know, to give you a breakdown, so our patrol deputies responded to the initial call. They went in to deal with the threat. Backfilling behind that, there was a mutual aid call to all local agencies to assist because of the active shooter situation. We have a lot of resources here. Our SWAT team, they've cleared the building, so we're confident that there's no outstanding shooter at this point. The scene is safe, and so now our homicide investigators are in trying to piece everything together, and that's going to take a long time.
And what is your message to people that may be wondering, like thinking, oh my goodness,
There's
I'm a
that
loved
dog
one who
again.
went there tonight. What would you say?
They're just
Right
running this
now,
right side on a loop.
we don't have a
I'm just
specific
being
area where
silly.
we
It's like
kept
1 o'clock in the
people
morning, people.
evacuated, a lot of
Sorry.
people left on their own. Like I said, some wounded even left and went to local hospitals on their own. So I don't have a staging area for people to come to pick people up. They can try and get a hold of them through, you know, phone, social media, you know, the usual kinds of things. We're not going to have any specifics on IDs of victims or anything like that for some time.
And that was the public information officer with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, again saying 11 victims that they know of so far. Among those are fatalities, and among one of them believed to be the shooter, deceased. The sheriff also saying that he did not know how many guns the shooter may have used, but believes because that shooter is inside the bar still, that those weapons would still be inside with him. Again, the number of injured is very likely going to go up, as the public information officer was saying. Many people just left on their own and showed up at hospitals with various injuries. That is the latest from here. Reporting live from Thousand Oaks, Eileen Ferreira, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Eileen, thank you. And
You didn't have to say
Gregory
that.
is on the scene as well, and he's speaking with
Brutally Honest TV, Channel 7.
Yes, but they've been
Live.
alerted. I've had family calling me and friends calling me. Again, I'm just reaching out to everybody who's inside there. I have tons of people who are down there who I just really want to make sure, okay, everyone's been through a lot this year and it's not fair.
How did you get out? Everyone?
A guy that I know, I don't really know him, he was able to throw me out the window. They
Thank you.
had chairs and they threw them out the window, and they were able to take me and the girlfriend that I was with and just got us out the window and carried us right up here, and we were able to get picked up by a guy friend of ours and get back to our cars, and that's how I got to him.
Did you see any injured people?
I saw one person who was at the front who I heard might be not have made it. That's all.
And you've been also reaching out to other people that
It's college night. It was insanely crowded. It's always insanely crowded. Every time. We've been going here for years. It's always crowded.
We heard there were smoke bombs. Did you see anything like that?
Yeah, you can't see anything. You couldn't see anything. I literally could not see anything. All you can do is hear things. Honestly, you couldn't really see anything.
How long did all this go on for, the shooting and the smoke bombs?
Honestly, if I was able to get out, so I don't really know how long it was going on for, but at the time it at least felt like more than 5 minutes. At least more than 5 minutes. And then I think it probably went on for at least 10.
Did you hear the suspect yelling anything, or was there anything?
I didn't hear any yelling. I heard yelling, but I can't just say that was the suspect. Everybody was yelling. Okay, I don't really want to talk anymore.
Did people know what it was right away?
I don't know. I honestly really don't want to talk anymore. I'm sorry. I'm Savannah.
And we are live at the scene here in Thousand Oaks as police continue to gather information on exactly what happened. We're talking to some of the people who were inside. Tremendously chaotic situation, obviously. A lot of people quite traumatized, not surprisingly. And some of them shared some of their stories with us, what they could share about what happened inside. So you were inside dancing?
No, I was sitting down by stools, just by myself, and the thing happened.
And a bomb went off, the smoke bomb, and then what did you hear or see?
Shots fired.
Did you see anybody hurt?
Not really, but I think some people were shot, and
What did you do? Did you?
I got my jacket, and I think I fell too, and I just crawled to the corner of the bar stools and just stayed there.
Did you ever see the person who was shooting?
Not clearly, but I saw a guy with black hoodie, black shirt, black pants, had black scarf over his face.
He had a scarf over his face?
Bandana, something like that, bandana, scarf, those kind of material.
Was he tall? Would he be described as stature?
Middle height, average.
Was he saying anything?
No.
Just shooting? So you saw him shooting?
Not really saw him, but I saw him come out from the kitchen door.
What did it sound like? Pop, 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 or
Pop, pop, pop.
so it's really fast, bullets coming out? I mean, I imagine people are running, chaos. Can you describe that scene?
My view was the bar and kitchen door, and the guy that came out from the kitchen door was the shooter. And I briefly saw some people coming out from the back doors as well, and that was it. That was my view of the night.
How did you get out?
Cops found me. I looked up and say hi, and they found me.
So you got down on the ground and stayed there? And
Stayed there till someone found me.
How long did it take?
Wow.
Probably 2 hours, maybe.
2 hours?
That's horrible.
An hour and a half.
You stayed there until someone.
Nellie.
Mm.
Wong, W-O-N-G.
Whew.
You were here celebrating your birthday? How about the people who are with you? Are they all get off safe? Tell us about that.
believe one still there was inside. I saw her going to the kitchen door. So I the shooter came from kitchen door.
I understand this is like a college night.
Yeah.
Are you from a local college?
CCCI, Channel Islands.
Channel Islands. And how crowded was it inside?
Probably not massive, but crowded.
Have you come here before?
Yes.
Is it usually a pretty good crowd?
Yeah.
Nayli, take us to how you got out. What did you see when you were leaving? What was going on when you were leaving?
When I came out, I saw cops. They lead me out to the sidewalk, and I saw people coming out too, and they consulted me in the South building, and I ended up there. I meet my friends.
When they let you out, did you see any people who were hurt?
No.
No. And did they lead you out the front?
Yeah.
Nayli, thank you so much for talking to us. We appreciate it. And you're listening to one of the young ladies inside the bar when the shooting started. A very chaotic situation. We're hearing bits and pieces from different people who are inside. It sounds like nobody so far saw the actual shooter in the act, but there was a smoke bomb, it sounds like, thrown, so visibility was obviously an issue. And of course, it was crowded, it was panic, so you can imagine the situation. We have another person joining us. Aiden, you're a local college student. You say you have a lot of friends in there. You're worried, obviously.
Yes, I am.
It sounds like this was a college night. Is that what goes on here?
Yeah, every Wednesday.
And what is involved?
College students line dancing to country music.
And have you talked to any of your friends who are inside?
No, that's why I'm still here. I'm just waiting to hear.
Okay. So Aiden's here waiting to talk to friends.
Yo, country music again. What's with these country music shootings, bro?
So again, it's a very fluid situation. Ventura County Sheriff's handling it. A number of other different agencies involved in that too. All we know for sure at this point, 11 people wounded, possibly. But it's still going to be a long morning out here, and we're continuing to gather information. But that's the latest here. John Gregory, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you, Mark and Michelle.
Okay, John, thank you very much. John arriving on scene there at this tragedy that is unfolding. You know, in the first hour or so after this thing happened, our reporter Jory Rand got there, and he spoke to a man who was there with his stepson, a man by the name of Tim, who gave what is perhaps one of the most heart-wrenching interviews that I have seen in a long time. He spoke not only of what happened and what he witnessed, but also how he felt and how it made him feel, the guilt that he felt about having survived this and watching other people who did not. We have that interview now, I believe. So let's roll that and listen.
I was to the front door. I was talking to my stepdad, and I just started hearing these big pops, pop, pop, pop. There was probably 3 or 4. I hit the ground. I look up. The security guard's dead. Or I don't want to say dead, but he was shot. He was down. And and the gunman was throwing smoke grenades all over the place. I saw him point to the back of the cash register. And he just kept firing. I ran out the front door. I hear chairs being thrown out the window. People were trying to get out the window. And the gunman went behind the cash register. There was probably 12 shots before I got out the front door. And I go out, I come back in to see if my stepdad's okay. I hear him yelling, and I ran. But the gunman, he had a beard. He looked Middle Eastern or so. He was wearing a hat, black jacket.
Okay, I knew this was going to happen. This is why I was recording this, people, and I'm putting this up, and I hope our footage does not get lost, okay? In the beginning, if you watch some of my other videos on this, the white lady said it was clearly a white male. Somebody says there's a scarf on his face. This guy says he's had a beard. He looks Middle Eastern. Do we hear? Look at this. This is why I jumped on this. This is exactly why I jumped on this. I knew this was going to happen.
When the shots started firing, and it was right next to the
Wow.
We were getting ready to leave. We had some pool, and some smoke came in. I guess he had first shot, and I knew it was live. I knew it was real. And then my son thought it was a joke. So I pulled him down and got some behind cover and looked up, and he was moving to the right. He shot the front doorman, bouncer. Well, you're just a young man. And he shot the cashier. Just a young girl.
Copy that. You took the words out of my mouth. We have a hit coming up first, I think.
He was looking at us, and he went into the office where all the cash and stuff is. He didn't say anything at all. He just started shooting. And I should have stayed until he changed his clip. And I was worried about my boy. But I should have stayed. I apologize to anybody who got hurt. Passed. I'm sorry. Fine. There's not much you could have done in a situation like that. They're all young. I'm 56. I lived a life. They're all young. This should have happened. You know? Yeah. It was just some little life. Taking lives that shouldn't have been taken. Could you tell what kind of weapon he was using? Yeah, he had a handgun. I could tell it was allowed, maybe a 44, maybe a little smaller, but it had a good ring to it. And it was just loud, and he had smoke. He was trying to confuse people, and then he went to the right and just started to shoot on the dance floor. And there was just young people, like, 18, 19, 20, just having a great time. This maniac came in and started shooting people for no reason at all. These people have never hurt anybody in their lives, and they're just kids. They're just kids. So sorry. So you two just got out of there as quick as you could. Could you tell how long the firing was going on? It was constant until he changed clips, and then it was a pause. He reloaded, and I'm sorry, I wasn't right there. And he kept on going, and then he reloaded, and he kept on popping them off. And I waited for my son. He didn't follow me like I asked him to. So I was running back to get him, and he came out. Thank you. And so I just got him out of there. She would never forgive me if he would have got hurt or tied. So I just got him and made sure he was okay. And then we just left, called 911. There was an officer on the street really quick. But we had to get out of there, and I apologize for leaving.
Just really hard to watch that poor man, Tim, recount his experience as he tried to get his stepson out of there and to safety, and clearly dealing with some survivor's guilt. One of just hundreds of people who have been traumatized by this mass shooting this evening at the Borderline Bar and Grill that took place. It started at 11:20 this evening. That's when the first shots rang out, and as Tim described there, it started when the gunman came through the front door and first shot the security guard who was working, and then turned the gun on the cashier, and had smoke bombs as well. It was a very chaotic situation, as we've heard from numerous eyewitnesses, people who survived tonight and have talked to us. People used chairs and bar stools to break windows to get out. Some ran out the back door, and many of them, once they got out, they were waiting on a hillside for at least a half an hour, unsure to where to go. Just a horrible, horrible situation. And we've also learned that many of the people who were there tonight were actually at the Route 91 concert in Las Vegas. We just marked the 1 year anniversary of that, October 1st.
1 year, basically 1 year and 1 month ago. Yeah. Many of these people were at another situation where some 58 people were murdered, gunned down by another gunman in what is becoming an all too common situation here in this country, where someone walks into a public venue and opens fire. That has happened here now. And we have our Chris
Hmm.
Christie. He was among the first to arrive, among
Wow.
the
How would
newest
they know that?
helicopters to arrive on
Did
scene
they
to
interview
describe what
everybody?
has been happening. The Air 7 HD is over the situation again.
I
And
don't know. I'm just
Chris
asking
Christie, what are
questions.
you able to tell from your vantage point now?
Yeah, Mark, unbelievable and all too familiar all at the same time. We're still over the Borderline Bar and Grill there. You can see they've now set up some red hazard tape around the building. That's basically, the building is basically completely locked down now. The entire area is one giant crime scene, and the FBI has now made entrance into the building, and they are now investigating as this whole situation enters a whole new phase. The official Code 4 was given, as you can see, as we've been reporting. Everything does appear to be under control. However, the bomb squad is still standing by, and we've spotted K9 units actually sniffing around the parking lot, going car by car, presumably looking for the vehicle that the shooter may have used to get here. And so we've seen that taking place. You can see flashlights in the parking lot. Unclear whether they've actually been able to focus in on any particular vehicle at this point, but that is one thing that is taking place in the parking lot as the bomb squad stands by. Just as a precaution, K9 units are sniffing around car by car, as you can see from this shot right here. We've also seen flashlights in the back of the building as well as they look for any further evidence. I also want to mention that the Ventura County deputy who was shot, one of the first responders, one of the first to arrive, was shot multiple times. He was taken to Los Robles Regional Medical Center, where there are now a number of Ventura County deputies now arriving at the hospital. And we're actually going to start making our way over to that location coming up in the next couple of minutes. So hopefully the next time we join you, we will have a live shot for you of that hospital, where there is now a contingent of law enforcement descending on the hospital in support of that deputy who was one of the first to arrive here and was shot multiple times. When we first got here, we actually spotted them performing CPR on him, and he was transported relatively quickly. But again, you're looking live at the parking lot of the Borderline Bar and Grill. All of this, a giant crime scene. You can see again that red tape around the building as the FBI, federal authorities, the ATF down there as well, making entrance into the building. Also, you can see some evidence markers right there at the front steps of the establishment. That'll all be part of this investigation. Just a giant crime scene, reminiscent of many of these scenes that we've covered here in the past. But that's the situation up here right now, guys.
Okay, Chris, thanks for the update. And we spoke a short time ago with the Thousand Oaks mayor, Andy Fox, and let's listen to that right now.
About 12 o'clock this evening, I was on my way home from actually my retirement party from the LA City Fire Department. I just retired as the assistant fire chief. I got a call about midnight that there had been a multiple shooting in Thousand Oaks. So I responded here to the area and got briefed by the local first responders. It's my understanding that there were a number of casualties. I do not have a report on their condition. My understanding they're very serious. It involved one of our law enforcement officers as well. Law enforcement responded. They engaged the shooter, neutralized the situation. It's under investigation at this time. The injured have been transported to various area hospitals. It's going to be a long, tough night for a number of families here. So we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers.
And any indication or any information on the suspect?
We don't have any information at this point in time. Again, Thousand Oaks is a safe community, but it's also a reminder that these things can happen virtually everywhere. If somebody's intent on going in and doing damage and causing harm to folks, it's the old adage, if you see something, say something, remain vigilant. But again, a tragic situation here in our community.
And that particular bar restaurant, tell me about it.
It's a country western bar. It's been a long time since I've been inside, so I don't even remember the layout. It's my understanding it was a college night, so probably a number of young adults there. As you know, Cal Lutheran's located right here. And so I'm not sure what the event or what exactly transpired, but I do know that a number of casualties occurred as a result of the shooting.
It'll be a long night for a lot of people.
It is.
All right, that was Andy Fox, the mayor of Thousand Oaks, talking to our Eileen Frere. We've got John Gregory now live. Let's go to John. Yeah.
And Mark, we are back at the scene here, just talking to some of the people coming out of this bar. A lot of people just being released by authorities, and bits and pieces of their stories. A terrible situation, obviously, for these folks. But we're getting a better image of the suspect, described as a man wearing all black, armed with a gun. Let's just listen in for a second.
That's your worst nightmare. I mean, it's terrible, and I'm not really in a position to be talking much about it, but I'm just thankful to be here and God's grace, and that's really all I have to say about it.
Some of those ladies over there told me that you helped.
As best I could, I train kicked in and grabbed whoever I could and got him out, but there's only so much you can do, so that's really all I have to say. So
and again, people really just kind of getting their heads around what happened here, and we are too. The scene very chaotic as police piece together the situation. We spoke with 3 young ladies earlier, giving us a description. They also described smoke bombs and then the shots being fired. One young lady told us the suspect was armed with a handgun, firing rapidly. She believes he reloaded. She did not see victims. She actually went into the rafters of the bar to hide out, and she was there for quite some time, maybe 45 minutes. So you can imagine what that was like as she was listening to the shots going off, and she was listening to the screaming and the confusion around her. So an incredibly difficult situation. These are college students mostly. It was some type of a college night here, and that was what was going on. Apparently very crowded evening too, so a lot of people were inside the bar when this all started unfolding. And again, several witnesses say it started with these smoke bombs, so visibility immediately was terrible, and then the shots were being fired, and just a terrible situation for everybody involved out here. We're still getting more information, people still being released from the scene. And you can see they're here meeting up with loved ones. We just spoke with a dad who was waiting for his son, and his son was actually at the shooting in Las Vegas, too, if you can imagine that. But that's the latest here. John Gregory, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Oh boy, that's not going to sit well with people. That's not going to sit well with people, man. Wow. Okay.
Good morning. We are just outside of Los Robles Hospital. I want to direct our attention to a van down there. There's an employee walking in right now with a card. That is from United Blood Services. He arrived just a couple of minutes ago, and oftentimes when we hear of these mass shootings, there is a call for blood donations. That vehicle and that equipment just arriving here minutes ago. So we are outside of the ER, this hospital 2.5 miles from the Borderline Bar and Grill here in Thousand Oaks. And over the past 5 to 10
Look like a
minutes,
military dude.
main door down there, down the drive to
Y'all
the
see
ER.
that military dude standing there in that glass?
And again, we have
Look at
confirmed
that dude. Whoa. All right, maybe I'm tripping. All right. I'll let all the questions pop up after. Just know I reacted first. What the hell was that about?
Victims injured in this shooting, that there are numbers that we have from the shooting location 2.5 miles away from here at the Borderline Bar and Grill, and then here at the hospital, those who arrived. Now keep in mind, we're now approaching some 3 hours after the gunfire rang out, and so even so 3 hours in, we're getting new information coming in. Again, that door opening and closing, people going in and out. Unclear if those are family members or victims. You can see some, looks like young ladies in sports gear walking out of the ER. So we're going to keep you posted. Again, this is Los Robles Hospital here in Thousand Oaks, very close to the Borderline Bar and Grill. We saw that blood going into the hospital, and again, law enforcement is on site. We have Ventura County Sheriff's deputies staged outside the hospital, and of course, security around
FBI, okay. Yeah, FBI, the police, security, okay, all right, but is there a military base close by?
Along with many others have been taken. Our Eileen Frere is right at the scene at the Borderline Bar and Grill. What can you tell us from where you are?
Yeah, Mark, we're actually at a staging area not far from where the bar is located, but some family members have started to come here searching for their loved ones. In one case, a son who they know for sure was at the bar, but they have been unable to reach him. They've been checking with hospitals, so no doubt a very anxious moment here for them and for many families. A lot of the people just talking.
Again. If you like that I brought this news to you first, go ahead and click that like button. I mean, I know it's kind of messed up here, but if you guys go ahead and donate to that Patreon account of mine, Brutally Honest TV Channel 7, things will get better. That's my motto. They always do. They always do. Even in times like this, this is a tragic situation that us Americans have to keep going through. We keep having to live with, but we have to somehow address
When we talked
what's
with the
going on
Ventura
in
County
our
Sheriff's
country.
Department earlier, just if the message to people if they're waiting
And
for
it's
loved
not
ones,
to
there's
take everybody's
not any
freaking
particular place
guns.
set up,
Sorry.
but the
We need to
public
talk
information
about
officer just encouraging people to if
the
they think their loved
breakdown
one
of
was
our
there to try
society.
and reach
People
them
are
through
upset.
regular
There's no
cell
excuse
phone,
for
through social
this,
media.
but we have to have
But
a
no, you found
discussion. I think we
anxious
should have
moments
a
for people.
everybody in the
Again,
country we need to
we're
start
hoping
having
we would be getting
countrywide
some more
discussions,
updates here. They were hoping to do it fairly regularly. If we do, we will
not
coordinate.
controlled by
Reporting live from Thousand Oaks
the
Highway Square,
mainstream
ABC
media.
7 Eyewitness
Just
News.
people like
We've
maybe, I
had
don't
came
know, we
earlier
need a
hearing from
neutral
a
news
number of
media or something.
witnesses tonight. Let's check
Maybe
in
from
now with
another
John
country. I don't
Gregory,
know.
who's talking to another.
Interviewed somebody you helped through
Maybe
that
Brutally
window.
Honest TV Channel
Michelle, we're
7.
talking with Matt here. He was inside. He helped save some people too. And Matt, again, tell us, you heard the shots, you saw the suspect. Describe it.
Basically heard the shots. It was a tall, probably 6'2", 6'3", dark figure, all black with his hood on, and he basically was unloading, and all I did was grab as many people as I could and pull them underneath the table, and then till I heard the shots, till I heard a break in the shots, and then we got people out of there as much as we could.
It sounds like you smashed the window out.
Yeah, we did.
Describe that.
You guys go ahead. You guys can donate a $1. I mean, anything
I interviewed somebody
helps.
who went through that window. You helped get them out, so you pulled a lot of people out. It sounds like.
That's all we could do. The only thing that I could have wished for is to have something better than a bar stool.
What did this guy look like?
Patreon account, Brutally Honest TV Channel 7.
Built, bigger figure, maybe wearing a vest or something, possibly. All dark, blacked out.
And what was he armed with? Could you see?
Smaller caliber handgun with a light or a laser attachment on the bottom. That's all I could see.
Any idea how many shots were fired?
Probably 10 to 15 in the first round, and then after that we got out the window, and it wasn't until we were probably halfway down the parking lot till we heard shots again, and then another break, and then lots of shots, and I think at that point it was police and him back and forth.
And how long did that ordeal go on for?
By the time we got people down to the street, that was probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. And then we ran back in, and we were just pulling stragglers who were still in the parking lot, calling people, and we were like, you need to get out of here right now.
How many people did you get through that window?
We probably pushed 30 or 35 people through that window.
Wow. And was this person shooting at you guys while you were doing this?
He was not shooting at us, not that I know of. No one around me was going down. He was focused more on that front area until he got done with that.
It sounds like you knew pretty quickly what was going on.
As soon as I looked up and as soon as I heard the shots, I knew exactly what was going on. And
there's confusion, it's crowded, there's music, but you figured it out pretty quickly. Why?
Instinct, I guess. That's all that I could do. But it was just I'm here to protect my friends, my family, my fellow humans, and I know where I'm going if I die, so I was not worried to sacrifice. So all I wanted to do is get as many people out of there as possible.
We heard smoke bombs.
I heard that also, but by the time we were out of there, they hadn't thrown anything, and it hadn't gotten there yet.
Die. No one does. What the hell was that?
Not mine.
I understand.
When we were
Okay.
going back to grab more people, someone was being pulled out with a chest wound, and the guys carrying him were tired, and so we took over and carried him to the paramedics. That's the only person that I actually came in contact with that had an injury from the attacker.
So you saw one
This guy is a freaking hero.
Is what I personally saw. Yeah.
Did you see work there?
Were you just at the block of rights?
I'm here every week.
You're here every week. Can you walk us through again what you first saw, what you first heard?
I was talking by the far corner with my friends, just normal stuff we do every week, and then I heard loud shots that are not a normal thing to hear at a bar. And then looked over and saw the figure and knew exactly what was going on. And all I wanted to do was get my friends out of there.
Was he saying anything, the suspect? Did you hear him
Not,
shouting?
not couldn't hear anything over the gunshots.
Did you get a look at the person with the gun?
Tall, dark figure with a handgun. That's full, all dark clothing and stuff like that.
Somebody said he's wearing a trench coat.
It's very possible.
Do you have any idea how many shots may have been fired? How long was
It was probably a 10 to 15 round magazine, something that's normal. But it was just semi-automatic, as many shots as he could pull, and then when it started to reload, that's when we got people out of there, and I didn't look back.
Any laser targeting thing on the gun?
It had a flashlight or a laser on the bottom, but it was not in use.
And I know a number of the people we've spoken with have been so grateful to the people who helped get them out. And you're very humble, but talk to us again about what you did at that point.
We just needed an exit, and there's not an exit on that side. It was either go through the balcony or towards where the shooter was active, or go all the way down the hall. And so we decided the best course of action was straight out the side.
So you smashed these windows out? How difficult was that? I mean,
one bar stool went straight through a window.
And then you just started.
And then we just moved the glass out of the way so people could get out. And then there's a wooden railing on the backside, and you're trying to get people on that, and then just jump down and push them away, as far away as possible.
Can you describe? Was it panic? Was people screaming, running? What was going on?
There's definitely a lot of panic. A lot of people trying to call on the cell phone, and that's what I was trying to get rid of the most, was the least amount of light and noise that we could make, and the fastest we could get out of there.
Is this a place you come
every week for the past couple of years? Yeah.
Are you coming back?
I will be coming back for sure.
Do you know why anybody would want to do something like this to this place?
There's a lot of sick people in this world that disagree with the values that we have, and that's the only thing that I could possibly think. Mental illness, something like that, something that we need to work on.
Can you describe what kind of weapon it was?
It was a handgun.
Handgun?
Yeah.
Okay. Semi-automatic?
Yes.
A revolver?
No. It was a modern semi-automatic Glock or something like that.
Long barrel or
short?
Short barrel. And again, you're listening to one of the young men who actually helped save some people, get them out of the Borderline Bar and Grill. He actually smashed out a back window and then helped people through that window. And we've spoken to some people who were saved by him. So he's a hero, this guy, Matt, behind us. And he's now sharing his story, an incredible story when you think about it. He said he immediately knew when he heard the gunfire what was going on, and he immediately took action. And again, we've spoken to a number of people who say they were carried through that window and saved by this young man here. He describes the suspect as wearing all dark clothing, possibly a trench coat, possibly a hoodie. No words were spoken by the suspect as far as he could tell.
Again, if you're just coming in and you like that I brought you this is your host, JT Banks, Brutally Honest TV, Channel 7. Please donate to my Patreon account, Brutally Honest TV, Channel 7. And hit that like button if you like that I brought you this news first. By way of Channel 7.
Exactly how all this unfolded, but Matt, it sounds like saved some people this morning, and he's now sharing that story. So an incredible scene here unfolding as people come out of the scene, still police releasing them slowly after they do their interviews with them. And as they do that, we're gathering more information too, and still chaotic, still a lot of unanswered questions, but we're slowly getting a better picture of who the suspect is, or at least images of him, and also some of the heroes here this morning. We are live in Thousand Oaks. John Gregory, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Okay, John Gregory, thank you, Matt. A hero indeed in recounting his story. It was very dramatic to hear how he got people out of that bar and grill, breaking windows and getting at least 30 people out of one window into safety. Let's go up now to Chris Christie. He's in Air 7 HD to update us on what's happening outside